43 people were killed since earlier Saturday, the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Declaration of Independence from the UK, in a succession of shootings in numerous cities and neighborhoods. And just like we say every Salak, if I may, sir,
please.
It's like we say every year, we get out there and we're celebrating something that has nothing to do with us. Celebrating the 4th of July, our people, all we have to do, the thing about it is, this wasn't even too long ago. You can go back maybe 70 or 80 years ago. What was our people doing about 80 or 90 years ago at the 4th of July? We were enslaved. And we're sitting up here celebrating. Let's go back 100, right? Maybe about 100, a little more than that. Right. But either way, we were not included in and the 4th of July was not a unholy holiday that was created for our people.
We was getting sold on. They had sales on us.
Right.
That's
selling us.
Come on.
You understand?
4th of July sale, Young Buck.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It says that the database has recorded 6,604 fatalities to gun violence in the year to date as of Monday morning. The database listed at least 224 mass shootings, which it considers to be cases in which at least 4 people were killed or injured, not including the shooter.
Come on, man.
This is the thing, right? And,
please.
And we looking at these same mass shootings that happen every year, throughout the year, and especially around the oppressor's holidays. And when the oppressor begins to celebrate, these are the things that happen around their celebrations. This should be a wake-up call to us, because like I said, listen, the earth is in the midst of World War III right now. So when these holidays come around, nothing can happen but these holidays get worse. That's the only thing that can happen, and it's actually happening. I mean, think about it. Even at a World Cup game where the United States is hosting, what could you expect from a wicked country but something like that to happen? 43 people. This is crazy, because our people are not waking up, and we're not learning. You understand, from the past.
Right.
Understand, history tend to repeat.
I don't know. We can continuing to follow after the traditions of our oppressor. You know, it prolongs our captivity.
Right.
It prolongs our captivity, and we see nothing but pain and destruction and desolence from it, man.
Right.
We ought to, wrap our heads around what the Lord really wants us to follow.
Right.
We got our own feast days, man. We be having a goddamn ball. You know what I mean? We be having a ball in this joint. You heard. Passover be a whole party.
Yep.
Feast of Dedication be a whole party. The Hanukkah, Purim, the whole list. The whole night, the Feast of First Fruits, man. All the brothers, all the families, all the kids running around. The camaraderie, the brotherhood, the sisterhood. You understand? The scriptures say what how good, how pleasant when brothers are together. Paraphrasing, I think it's in our Psalms somewhere.
Right.
But that's what we do here in the UPK and in our nation. That's what we got to get back to. But when we follow the customs and the ways of another nation, we get this. We get violence.
Right.
We get destruction. We get mass shootings. We get drive-bys. We get overdoses.
Right.
Car accidents. That's part of the violence too. How many DUIs was given out 4th of July night?
Right.
Into the morning. How many car crashes? How many deaths? How many family members have we lost this past weekend? We don't want to talk about that, right? We don't want to get too dark. We just celebrating America. Listen, we got to look at it all here. How many hands and fingers got blown off by bottle rockets?
Right.
How many people waking up without a hand, without a face? Man, it was a story came out there. Somebody got their face blown off. A child, and didn't let it. He there with the child.
Right. Yeah.
In the emergency room, probably still in the hospital to this day. Excuse me.
What they call the CPS. CPS come in, Child Protective Service.
Now they got to get involved because we want to follow the ways and the traditions of another nation.
Right. Steadily falling dead.
Right. You want to get a little bit more?
Yes. Okay. Sir. In one of the most prominent episodes over the weekend, 4 people were shot in an East Los Angeles neighborhood where soccer fans had assembled during Mexico's World Cup defeat to England. The Los Angeles Police Department said that a suspect pulled out a gun during an argument about 9:30 p.m. local time after the match ended in a 3-2 eliminating defeat for Mexico and started firing, as reported by the news channel KTLA. The shot struck 2 intended victims and 2 bystanders, a woman and a boy who left the scene to seek help, the department said.
And listen, we can go on and on, article after article, paragraph after paragraph. What we do understand is this. It seems like every time there's a white man's holiday or gathering,
yeah,
here comes the violence.
Right.
Here comes the destruction. Here comes the mass shootings, Matan.
Right.
Here comes the destruction. When we gonna learn, black man? When we gonna learn? I was thinking about going to the O's game, but something in my mind keeps saying on Friday they got this they call it the 98 Rock Night, right? Like, man, I'm gonna go to 98 Rock Night, I'm gonna see these radio hosts.
Right.
Something in my mind's like, man, you should not get around these white folk on this thing because they gonna.
But not only that, 98. That's one of their channels right there. 98.
Yeah.
I mean, they get out there, and when that 98 Rock get the kicking, they get drunk, they get partying, they get the fighting,
they belligerent.
Yeah, they do.
Come on, man.
And that's the you know what, Salai, if I may, before I came into the truth, I went out to a couple of those O's games, and I was lucky enough to go to the early games because those late games,
right,
and especially on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, they get tore up crazy in those days.
Autumn cats coming over from Pickles,
right,
and all them local bars down there that make the money,
right. Yep.
Go ahead.
And that's where they get tore up and they get violent on those days, those Fridays and Saturdays, especially if it's a day where they don't have to go to work the next day.
And hold up. Oh, my bad. Hold up. Not only that, right, over there by Pickles, but all the way down Light Street. All of Light Street. And what's the street over from Light Street? Is that Hanover?
Hanover Street, yep.
All of Hanover and all of Light Street. Every bar is open and the streets is flooded.
Right. Yep.
Like stadium flooded.
Yeah.
Cross Street. I mean, from Cross Street to Light Street to Hanover, all the way up and down Light Street.
Right.
I feel sorry for anybody that bought. Listen, you think Fells is crazy?
Yeah.
Don't white boys down Cross Street and the Fells and not Fells, but but I'm talking about Light Street and Cross Street and Hanover side.
Right. Yeah.
You ain't saying Fells Point is light work with them compared to that 100%.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It says all 4 victims were treated at a local hospital for non-life-threatening injuries.
But did you have something else to say?
Nah, so that was it. But like I said, though, they get when you go on days like that, those Fridays and Saturdays are the most violent days for those oppressors. You understand? And sometimes I feel like they allow them to get violent and rowdy like that. You understand? And then what happens is you'll have 1 or 2 black people in the crowd that get targeted. So that's the reason why I try to stay away. We went to an early in the afternoon game that was in the middle of the week. So, people had to go to work. So it wasn't as rowdy. And again, it was a nice atmosphere. But when you wait to a certain time, that's like the howling time for them. That's like the witching hour. You understand where the beast comes out of them on that Friday and that Saturday. That's when all hell breaks loose for them.
100%.
Yeah.
Unruly.
Yeah.
Unruly. What else? What else news we got here?
I sent you something. Let me see.
You want to go into
The
the
South African. This article.
Can we get that at the end?
Okay.
Because I want to go into that
and
Godfrey at the same time, if I could.
We can.
I want to close on that if I could. Okay. I think that's a good close. What do you think?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get a little bit of inflation talk.
Yeah, come on, sir. Did you send it over to me?
I'm sending it right now. You might not be able to get in there though. It's on Reuters though.
Updated my phone, and this I got to get used to this.
You know, Reuters been asking for money, yeah.
Oh yeah, because they becoming popular. You know why? Because they've been speaking out against the so-called small hat, and now they know people are on them for their information now. So they gonna.
Bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna walk away from. I'm gonna send you a different link. Bear with me 1 second. Y'all bear with me 1 second, chat. Hey, and shalom to everybody in the chat. I see you, Sister Rawah. I see Brother Akil in the chat. The wife for checking in. You understand? We're gonna get a little bit more on that. I want to get on this inflation tip. Cause it was cats doing interviews done at the 250th anniversary of America, what have you.
Black people?
Well, not black people. It was some white journalist. Okay. He was like, it better not be no black people there. But no, it was some journalists down there asking people about the market or what have you. Bear with me 1 second. I'm sending this to you. We gotta get out of that group chat with I'm gonna send it to you directly.
What concept?
Because I was sick.
Is that why I was getting okay? All right, I couldn't figure out what that message was about.
No, it was the group joint.
Okay.
Let me know when you got it.
Got the Ukraine war. Got the BBC.
Iran.
Oh, okay. Let me get that.
We're gonna get a little bit more on this show. And look, shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You understand? You got somebody in there saying free Palestine. That's your own joint. That's your own preference. You understand? Here in the Israelite School, ISUPK, Israel, the so-called Israelis, I should say, and the so-called Palestinians.
Okay, I got it.
Which are originally the Persians, or what have you. And the so-called Israelis are really Polish and German, and biblically their name is Amalek, and they're both against us or what have you. The so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, and woman or what have you. But nonetheless, you have your preference saying free Palestine. That's cool. Understand? If you want to love on and kiss on the Arab or Persian, that's your preference. But here in the Israelite School of UPK, we're going to consolidate our love for our people. So-called black man, so-called Hispanic man, so-called Native Indian man, which are in fact the true biblical Jews of the Bible.
Right.
All right. But I think I may have gave too many. They in there saying free Palestine. Listen, that's fine. If you want to hug and kiss on the Palestinians, if you want to hug and kiss on the so-called Israeli, that's your preference. And here is we about the real Israel,
right? Which
is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Salaki, if I may,
please.
If you black or Hispanic or Native, you understand. Before you scream for the freedom of another people, you should be screaming for the freedom of your own people.
Right.
You understand? The problem is we've been in captivity so long that we don't even believe that we are captives right now. We think we're free. I think I spoke about this while we was out Saturday,
DC.
Saturday back in DC.
Okay.
And a lot of people believe that, and I don't want to get too far off,
No,
that we as blacks and Hispanics have equal rights. I explained that we've been fighting for equal rights since 1954. We do not have equal rights. And let me explain to you why, right? We don't have equal rights because in order for a law to go into motion and for it to be constitutionally legal, it has to be ratified. They tried to ratify equal rights for black people in 2020. They thought they had 38 states and 3 other states backed out, which nullified equal rights.
Right.
Equal rights is something that is on the books, but it's not a law. So when you go into the court system, this is the reason why it looks so uneven when we go into the court system, because they don't have to give us equal rights. They don't have to be equal with us. And if you can see and understand what I'm talking about, they don't care whether we have equal rights or not. If they did, we would have it would have already been ratified, and you would see equality in America. Unfortunately, America has never been an equal country for blacks and Hispanics and natives. If you look at the Native Americans, they came over here and stole the country from the Native Americans. You understand? They got our brothers, the Hispanics, on the border in cages.
Right.
Alligator Alcatraz, they say they're shutting it down, but it's still in operation.
Right.
You see us filling up the jail system. You understand? They just released a brother a few months ago that was locked up unjustly for 40 years. Is that or is that not equal rights? By their justice system, it is equal rights because we don't have it, so they can do what they want to us and not compensate you for it.
100%.
You understand? So when we start asking for freedom for other nationalities of people, we need to think about the freedom of our own people.
Right.
We need to be saying free blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Think about this. In America, blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the only people to suffer in America. We don't hear about the suffrage of Asians in America. We don't hear about the suffrage of Africans in America. Even when the Palestinians coming from a war-torn country, we don't hear about the suffrage of the Palestinians in America. As a matter of fact, the Palestinians get to wave their flags in America.
Right.
You understand? Every nation comes over here and lives not the American dream, but the American reality. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives, we are the only ones that live the American dream, meaning the only time we get to experience goodness is when we're asleep. When we are woke, we experience the American reality. This is our reality. You understand? Unjustfulness is our reality. I yield, sir.
Oh, no, you absolutely right. You absolutely right on that. I mean, if we talking about liberation of peoples, how can we ignore our own?
Right.
But we so in the neck of our enemy, we so engulfed in American culture that we think that we a part of it.
Right.
We really think that we free. And listen, shalom to everybody that checked in too. Shalom, sister Nazamana out of New Orleans, Officer Mother Bar Red. Shout out Officer Mother Bar.
Shalom.
Mother Bar, that's my man. Yeah, man, me and him been Mother Bar, man, rocking for a long time in this trip. Yeah,
I hear his name all the time. I almost feel like I know him personally, you know.
But no, like but that's really that shows you how black people in general, we have the ability to what's the word I'm looking for, to see pain.
Right. Oh yeah.
The oppressor doesn't have the ability to have any what's the word?
Compassion.
Compassion. That's the word. That's the perfect word. The oppressor doesn't have the ability to show compassion to somebody that's in pain, somebody that's hurting, somebody that's low. But as black people, we see another people that's low, and we fighting for them. We fighting for them, not knowing that they'll turn their back on you in the instant. You understand?
Right. And you, Salaki, if I may, sir. That's the compassion that the Most High put in us. That's that righteousness peeling through, because we understand and we can see when an unjust thing is happening to a people. But the problem is an unjust thing has been happening to us for so long that it almost becomes just. It almost becomes normal. So this is like normal life. It's like when the first slaves came over here, they understood that they were slaves. As they begin to have children, those people who understood that they were slaves let their children know that they were slaves. And eventually, those children begin to let their children understand that this is life. You understand, this is how life is, to the point where coming up in slavery now is normal life to us. We don't believe that we are an enslaved people. Until you sit back, you stand back and you look at the big picture and you see that black people don't own anything in America. We don't run anything in America. Think about this. We don't even make laws in America. The laws that are created in America are unjust laws and laws that go against blacks and Hispanics. We keep looking at it like if we see black faces there, then those black faces are going to help us.
Every time.
When those people are nothing but rich slaves. You got, just like you said,
and informants.
Yeah, and informants. You have house slaves and you have field slaves. Just because you're a house slave does not give you any more power than a field slave. You just look a little better. You just make slavery look a little better. That's it. But we are an enslaved people. That's why they made that book. You ever heard that book, $1 Million Slave? Look at that. You understand? Athletes can't even speak their mind. You're making millions of dollars. You understand? You're at the pinnacle of your profession and can't even speak your mind by somebody who's lowly. Think about the woman that told LeBron James to shut up and dribble a ball. LeBron James makes 100 times more, but she has more power than LeBron James. You understand what I'm saying? And that's our plight in America. The problem is the Bible tells us that we have the power to change our condition. The power is in our hands. All we have to do is come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments. Do what the Most High tells us to do. Right. Zephaniah 2:1, what's that? Gather yourself together, O nation, not desire.
That's right.
We say this every week. O nation, not desired. We are the only people on the face of this earth that don't realize that these other nations hate us. And we keep fighting and fighting and fighting for the love of other people. When we have the love of our own people right here. We are the only nation of people that don't realize that we're being silently boycotted. What do I mean when I say silently boycotted? When I say silently boycotted, look at the businesses, the few businesses that we do have in America. Let me ask somebody, how many times have you seen an Asian patronize a black business?
Right.
How many times have you seen Africans patronize a black business? Because we see sisters go get their hair done from the Africans all the time. But I've never seen the Africans come get their hair done from the sisters. Right. How many times have you seen Asians come get their nails done from sisters? But we see sisters pile their stores up and pile their nail shops up every weekend and throughout the week. Right. So much so that you got sisters getting their nails done on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because Fridays, Saturdays are booked. Think about that. We get silently boycotted by the East Indians, but we steadily put money in their pockets, and steadily they talk about us like we're the scum of the earth. We fill the Arabs up. How many people have been patronized by Arabs?
Right.
We patronize hip hop chicken all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That's a thing that's a thing that has to stop right there.
It's like a staple in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And other than up in Philly where they got Crown chicken,
Crown, Kennedy chicken,
Mm-hmm.
New York fried chicken. You understand? And they control those industries. They're very Have you ever heard of Korean barbecue? You ever heard of Korean barbecue?
When
did Koreans start barbecuing?
Listen, they got that from the G.I. Joes. The Negro G.I. Joe.
Korean fried chicken.
Korean don't know nothing about fried chicken. They stole that from us.
There you go.
You understand? Black women cook fried chicken the best. You understand? That's a black folk thing. You don't get it twisted. You understand?
Right. And that's why they do it. You don't see them making Asian food. They don't serve black people Asian food because they know we don't eat it because it's not good.
Oh.
So they got to steal the recipes and serve you your own food. Right. You understand? God. Some of these, this is the fall of so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives right now. We allow people to come in and we joyfully hand our jewels over to them. What does it say? What the scriptures say? Cast not thy pearls to the swine.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, all of the valuable things that we have, we allow others to come in and profit off of that. I don't want to get too far off with.
No, you fine. I'll let you rock.
We hurt ourselves by allowing them to do that, and then they silently boycott us by not patronizing us, by not buying anything from us, and we continue to push our dollar. That's just like integration. Right? It's just like integration. We forced ourselves on a people who did not want us around. We're doing the same thing with the Asians. We're doing the same thing with the Arabs. We're doing the same thing with the East Indians. We're doing the same thing with the Africans. We're forcing ourselves on them. We're forcing ourselves into their world. You understand? Instead of coming back to our own world and forcing ourselves on our own people.
That's right.
You understand? I yield. Sir.
Oh, you had an excellent point on that. Bring that up. Because listen, ever since this so-called civil rights, we've been on a we don't like, it's generations of black folk that doesn't know what a black city is.
Right.
You'll see black people all around right about, but I'm talking about as far as the infrastructure, the building, the businesses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The hospitals, the libraries, the schools. You understand? Not just being in the white man's political system and government or what have you.
Right.
They are pretty much worthless, as we see Governor Westmore. And, sometimes they may seem well here and there. Also, what's the brother name? Mayor Brandon Scott. They may seem well here and there, but they have an agenda and a pursuit to pursue that's outside of black folk. No sweat, you good. That's outside of black folk. But we didn't gave. You can bring that up here if you like. But we didn't gave our you can make it work. You want to unplug it? Or you just want to turn it on? That's fine. But no, we've been so caught up and tied up in our oppressive system that we can't see how destroyed that we truly are, man. And that's the problem. But what's going on in the earth right now is steps to our liberation in general. It steps to our liberation in general, meaning what? The wars, the inflation, the turmoil. It seems like the entire world is collapsing on itself.
Right.
You got white nationalists at DC. You got a racist, outwardly racist president, I should say.
Yeah.
You got everybody taking up arms. It's a whole lot of at one time. You got Russia, Ukraine, China want to get it on with Taiwan. It's so much happening, but you're distracted by propaganda so much that we don't understand that the grand stage is being set.
Yep.
The grand stage is being set for this age is This our oppressor's age of society coming to an end. Babylon is falling. Our oppressor is falling apart. Everybody understand? You understand?
Oh, Con.
But let's get this here. Iran.
This is you ready to pull it? You got it up?
I got it up.
This is the CBC News. Iran war drove inflation expectations up, hurt businesses' confidence. BOC.
Now look, regardless of what Trump's saying, oh, the economy's doing well. Like we so caught up in American and Israeli propaganda that we now looking at it for what it is. Gas is ridiculous. Gas is like we didn't grown accustomed to it because we've been paying for the last 2-3 months now, right?
Right.
So it's like we're managing it now. But we talking about double. I remember 2-3 years ago when I was working with that armored company.
Right.
They had this isolated gas station over there at White Marsh. It's like isolated. It's like the only one like on that block. It was like $2.99. Like, man, I'd never get gas here.
Right.
And I can only imagine what it is now. It's probably $5 for regular over there right now.
Right.
But it's the market is crazy. And it's really check this out though. It is good. It is good, Matham. Yes, it's inflation, but a lot of it is extortion. Most of it is companies and billionaires getting over on you, blaming it on the war.
Right.
They did the same thing with COVID. There was no oil exports being delayed or anything like that by the time of COVID. Right. Why did our groceries double at the time of COVID? Now there's like another wave of garbage with this inflation and extortion. Well, let's get it.
Creating conditions so that they can raise prices and do what they want to do. Listen, like they said, the millionaire class cares nothing about, regular citizens of America. I mean, let alone us, blacks and Hispanics. We really at the bottom of the totem pole.
Right.
You understand? So the billionaire class figures we can get more money, they can get less money. Who cares how they live as long as we get more money? You understand?
That's the name of the game.
That's it. You understand?
That's the name of the game, man. The rich get richer and the poor get poor.
I mean,
how many times have we heard that phrase? Go ahead.
All of the corruption that this American president is doing outwardly, president after president, presidents have always done corrupt things. You understand? That's how they get the millions and millions of dollars at their, after they're done their presidency, and continue to collect millions of dollars. All of the international and national mandates that they have, going over to these other countries, destroying these other countries and taking the gold, the diamonds and everything that they got. That's how these American presidents get over. That's why they do what they do. You understand? And we're looking at the face of the beast right now. America is falling, like Cap said. And in America falling, now the wicked mask has been taken. The mask has been taken off, and now we're starting to see the real wickedness of America, because they're allowing Trump to do anything that he wants to do, even illegal, and talking about and now they're talking about an American president can do anything he wants. He can't be held liable for any illegal activity that he does in office. Right. That's incredible right there, because we've always been told that American presidents have to uphold the standards of America. So now we see what the standards of America has truly been. You understand? You ready to
get some more? Let's get some more.
Okay. It says the Iran war both hampered business confidence and sent inflation expectations soaring. The Bank of Canada revealed in a new set of business outlook surveys published Monday. Those opposing forces on the economy also pushed the central bank to introduce new metric for tracking sales and price activity in an increasingly shock-prone world. Listen. We all in shock about how everything is going. You understand what I'm saying? And when those gas prices went down, we got to look at the oil reserves, the millions of barrels of oil that America had in reserve. They didn't tell people that they was releasing barrels of oil from their reserve. That's what caused the price to go down. Iran's still running that the Strait of Hormuz.
They running the whole thing.
They running the whole thing.
Shout out to the chat. I see you, Batak in the chat. Shalom.
And so now,
also, a call.
What's going on, Batak? What's going on, Bakar?
And Officer, I'll call.
Oh, Officer Akar.
Come on.
Yeah, you understand.
For checking in.
So we saw prices go down for a minute, but that wasn't because of oil coming out of the straits. It was because America was slowly releasing some of their oil reserves to smooth over the prices of gas. Well, those gas prices are about to start going back up, and this war is really about to get really underway real heavy. You understand? Because if I'm not mistaken, they said they can only go about 2 more months, and then that's a wrap.
There's going to be a real shortage.
It's going to be a real shortage. It says the Bank of Canada's latest survey showed that input costs and geopolitical uncertainty were on the rise over the past 3 months, hurting sales expectations for most firms outside the oil and gas sector in the prairies, whatever that means. Now I know a lot of these geopolitical analysts are talking about how these gas prices about to really start soaring and going back up, and the uncertainty of over the rise over the next 3 months are hurting the sales expectation for most outside oil and gas sectors, because they were expecting for that strait to be open back up, which Trump keeps saying, oh, the strait's open back up, but it's not. And the oil that's coming through, that's going to Iran's allies.
Right.
You understand? And then now you have a lot of those Arab states making agreements with Iran. Now they starting to realize that America really can't protect them, and really wasn't set out to protect them. You understand? Those military bases that were placed in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, and things like that, they really thought those bases were going to protect them, but they starting to realize that those bases are actually putting them in harm's way.
Yeah, they crumbling under pressure.
Yeah.
They crumbling under pressure. And so much so, Trump got to give up $300 billion. Is it $300 billion?
$300 billion. Yep. The $300 billion that he took from Iran. That's the $300 billion.
So Salak, you're on the road state company right now. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Salak, I'm not sure what you're trying to say. But what was I saying just now? The oil.
The oil, $300 billion.
It's looking like they lost. It's looking like they got to pay for their losses.
Yeah.
They got to pay for their losses.
Right.
And it's not looking good, man. But you want to get a little bit more on this?
Come on, sir. It says the shares of businesses bracing for a recession to hit the economy in the year ahead jumped to a 17% in the second quarter, nearly double the 9% recorded in the previous 3 months. The bank noted this measure is still lower than levels seen in 2025. But then, listen, 2025 was only last year. You understand? That was the beginning, and that wasn't even at the beginning of the Iran war, because the Iran war started in February. You understand? We talking about, these are real, true highs, and it's only going to get worse. You understand? It's only going to get worse. But us as so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives, we got to look at it in a different way. We got to look at it like what's truly happening is America's falling. You understand? But America is not our country. You understand? America is not our society.
Right.
You understand? And when this society falls, another one rises, and we have to be prepared to have our society rise. You understand? We have to be prepared to go into rulership. You understand? This earth deserves righteous rulership, and there's only one people that can give this earth righteous rulership, and that's so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives under Commanding General Your Honor. You understand? Under this truth, the truth of this Bible. This is what makes us who we are. You understand? This is a book of laws, statutes, and commandments. This is our moral compass. And because America is not following a moral compass, this is the reason why America is falling now. This is the reason why America has to be the pirate of the earth, the terrorist of the earth, the unaliver of the earth. Think about it, right? No other nation has dropped a bomb on any other nation in history.
Right.
Yet America's telling people you can't have a nuclear weapon. And America's the only country that has used a nuclear weapon on another country. America is the only country that terrorizes other nations. You understand? This is the terrorist of the earth. You understand? And this is the reason why this nation has to fall. I yield, sir.
100%. Well, you want to drop this, or you want to get a little bit more?
I'm going to get a little bit more. Just a little bit more,
okay.
Right? It says firms were meanwhile reporting less uncertainty tied to the trade disruption with the United States, and the outlook for exports improved to well above historic averages on the back of higher commodity prices and demand for artificial intelligent input. And this is rich people getting rich. When they talk about improved in exports, that's rich people getting rich. That's not us, benefiting from anything. You understand? As we see, our pockets are getting squeezed. So when they talk about in this time, in this day and time, when they begin to talk about things are getting better, things are improving, they're not talking about for your average citizens. They're talking about for rich people. Because in times of war, the only people that can get richer are rich people. The only people that can benefit are rich people. You understand? And through World War I, the only people that benefited was people that were rich. In World War II, the same thing. Your defense department, if you have nothing to do with defense, you cannot get rich. Who's making all the bombs? This is where all the money's going, to bombs and war. You understand? So if you have nothing to do with bombs and war, you can't get rich. Fruit has nothing to do with bombs and war. Vegetables have nothing to do with bombs and war. Building houses has nothing to do with bombs and war, so you can't get rich off of any of that. You understand? This is the reason why they're talking about the housing industry is coming to a halt, because people can't afford to buy housing.
Right.
If you look at fruits and vegetables, we see the prices going up. You see the price. Listen, I bought a 1 pound pack of ground beef like this yesterday, Cap. 1 pound pack.
Right.
It's $10, $11. $11 a pound. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You understand? Inflation expectations among businesses soared in the second quarter alongside spiking energy prices tied to the Middle East conflict. Listen, that's the linchpin right there. Because no matter how much money you just happen to bring in, it gets taken away by the Middle East, by the war in the Middle East.
Right.
You understand? So that's it on that, Cap. You want to go?
Yeah, listen. Listen. Don't get caught up in the propaganda. Things ain't going well, and look, things going to get worse.
Right.
That's the times we living in. Don't think for 1 second in your mind that everything is all right.
Right.
As far as the so our oppressors reign in the earth. Babylon is crumbling. The war, the pressure, the tension, the social tensions within the country, right? The national tensions, the international conflict around the world, all that plays a part in our liberation, but we can't recognize and understand it because we focused on what? Trash.
Right.
Focus on whatever they feed us on our timeline.
Yeah.
Or worse, or also this, or just slavery.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just trying to make it to another day. Oh, I'm just trying to get. I'm still. You ever hear this? I'm still here.
Right.
I'm still living. That's the black people say all the time. Why? Because we so beat down and battered, man.
You know,
but in here we hell shit. We beat down and battered too. But guess what? We got a job to do.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Hey, before I came into the truth, that was one of my sayings. I'm still here.
Right.
You know, long as I'm still here, you know, I mean, what more can I ask?
Well, I'm still living.
Know? I'm still living. You know what I mean? And that's the mindset that they put us in because of the conditions that they have created. That's why our mind is set like that. You understand? And coming into this truth is where we all got free from that. You understand? Because a lot of us don't understand. We think that this is the way life is supposed to be when it's not. You understand? It's not supposed to be like this. And until I got into here, you know, it was like, that's the way it's supposed to be. You understand? A struggle is a struggle, but we're not supposed to struggle in the conditions that we are struggling in. You understand? You got black people that go through, you got black people that got college degrees that can't even get a job. You understand? We ain't talking about the oppressor because the oppressor can go anywhere and get a job, you understand, and get paid the money that he wants to get paid. You understand? We the only ones that can't do that. That's why you got all of these ethnicities coming over here from other countries and profiting big. You understand? And they profiting off the blood, sweat, and tears of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. You understand? All of those laws that were passed that were supposed to be passed for us, they the ones benefiting off of it. That's why you can get a poor person from Vietnam can come over here, get a corner store, get a fish shop, you understand, get a nail salon and be on top of the world.
Right.
And then they come over here and they look down on us. You understand? When they came over here from nothing. You understand? They don't have the struggles that we have. You understand? This is the reason why we got to come together, come back up under this truth. You understand? These laws, statutes, and commandments. This is what we are built off of right here. This is our strength right here. You understand?
All right, we're gonna drop that. All right.
Tunnel concert.
Where we at here? You want to get on the Patriotic Front?
Patriotic Front. You sent it to me?
The march down there in D.C.?
Oh, yeah. Let's get on that. Yeah.
Let me send this to you real quick.
You know something too? I was talking to my rib the other night, right? And what sisters really need to do is sisters really need to get back on their game, especially when it comes to that nail shop stuff. And they need to start doing that stuff out of their houses. We need to start really the way these other nations boycott us. We need to start boycotting them. We need to start shutting their shops down. You don't have to picket. You don't have to walk. You don't have to march or anything like that. The only thing you got to do is stop going. A lot of these sisters, and I'm saying back in the 80s and the 90s, had nail technician skill. We need to build those skills back up, and sisters need to start doing that stuff out of their houses.
And listen, you know what the oppressor did? He monopolized it.
Yep.
He put all that going to school, cosmetology school.
Yep.
he monopolized it so you won't make money. The hell, I don't know. What the hell? Did your mother go to cosmetology school?
Nope.
But she had that shampoo and that conditioner, though, right?
Yep.
And that Blue Magic grease.
Right. Exactly.
You understand?
Yep.
Did she need a cosmetology certificate to do your goddamn hair?
And
So
that's
the white man is a goddamn devil. Sluggy, y'all. Go ahead. Go ahead.
and listen, if they was to ever open up a shower salon, now you got to start getting a license to be able to shower.
Damn.
You understand? That's the crazy thing right there.
Forget about
You understand? You when did you ever have to get a license to do hair? Think about it. You understand? That's the evilness. That's the beast that sits above us right now.
And if you do it, you getting all types of fines,
Right.
and facing jail time or what have you for doing your people's hair.
Your people's hair.
The white man is the devil. He tried to monopolize it.
Right.
You got to go to him, get a certification, get all this clearance or what have you. It's a bunch of trash and hoopla and loopholes to keep us oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, we talking about 30, maybe 30 years ago, early 90s, 80s. You know what I mean?
Right.
Black menaces still here, even through all the turmoil after civil rights. But now we on a whole nother end of that now. We talking about several generations that don't know what black wealth looks like, though. Doesn't know what a black town thriving off its own people's businesses looks like because of Martin Luther King's dream. You understand?
Yep.
That ghetto informant program that the CIA or that the FBI had, was it FBI or CIA? That the FBI had really did a number on us. And you got to really look at our leaders and ask yourself, who was part of that ghetto informant program that the FBI had? Keeping us in a box, keeping us oppressed. Surely Martin Luther King was a part of that program.
Right.
Surely Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson was a part of that program. You know why? Because they made it possible for us to lose our wealth, to lose our businesses, to lose not only within that, but to lose our morality with it.
Yep.
Lose our brotherhood, lose our sisterhood, lose our camaraderie. And where do we fall to? The oppressor. Not only the oppressor, but the oppressor's ways. Now we want to be Italian. Now we calling ourselves Gucci Mane.
Mm-hmm.
Now we calling ourselves Gotti. And operating as the Italians in their drug game. All that hair and all that dope was their business. But now we can't sweep up a floor in a barbershop or in a butcher shop or a fish market down the street. Now we got to be on the corner wiping windows. Those small little gigs was for the kids.
Right. Kids
Coming to the pop shop, corner store. They know they need money. They're gonna get it. I mean, forget about it, man. My grandfather had a fish shop in Baltimore. Was known. All of that's gone now. Come on, man.
I know a lot of people remember the Roost that was right over there on Ricestown Road. You understand? There was that Ricestown and I can't remember the cross street right there, but my mother used to take me there when I was little. I couldn't wait till I was old enough to go there by myself. Understand? I mean, it was so good that it was packed at 3:00 in the morning in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
People standing outside waiting for food. I remember me and my kid's mama called in at 12:30 and asked them did they have any ribs. They said it ain't gonna be ready till about 2:30. We was like, all right, we'll be there.
Right.
You understand? And we out there and you out there with other black people, y'all just gib a gab and going back and forth. I mean, it was the end of an era.
Our spots was the late night spots.
Right.
Our spots was the go-to spots. Now is hip hop or these so-called A-rap joints, two in the morning joints,
Yep.
Chinese joints, or what have you. That wasn't even like, and listen, I'm telling you, Madam, generations don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Don't know what we bringing out here. But listen, hey, are we going off again?
I'm about to say one more thing, right?
Come on.
I always tell people this because
hey, Shalom Long Christ Bakar, check that. Go ahead.
It was the end. We was at the end of an era where Black people owned all of the corner stores. I remember that vividly because that was the only thing I knew until I started seeing Asians start taking over Black stores. And it started in in Baltimore. I know it started around 1986 or 87, where the Asians started slowly taking over the Black corner stores. You understand what I'm saying? And it was a culture shock at the beginning, but now it's the norm. Now, 30 years later, it's the norm. And we have a lot of Black children and Black people that have never seen when every corner that you went to, Black people owned the stores on every corner, and they used to live upstairs. So they knew everybody in the neighborhood. They watched the kids in the neighborhood grow up. They could tell you what to do, or they could walk across the street and knock on your door and tell your mother, this is what he doing. You understand? That was community back then. That was the end of an era. You understand? By the time 1992 came, 93, damn near all of the stores was owned by Asians by that time. You understand? And it was a plan where they had already knew that they was gonna come up with all of this stuff to make people lose their stores. Like I remember the dude Butch owned one store, Pearline owned the other store. These two Black people. When Pearline and them lost their store, Butch turned around and bought that store. You understand? So Black people still had two stores. In some kind of way, they finagled and said he owed something and made him lose his stores.
That's what they do.
You understand? So
that's what they do.
Listen, man, it's a conspiracy. Well, I don't want to say conspiracy because it's real. This shit is real.
All right.
It's when you look at the laws, and what's the law that I always bring up? Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion of 1638. If you look up that Maryland law that was created back in 1638, it says that no slave, descendant of a slave, or Black person shall enjoy the fruits of white society. Now, I want y'all to look at the fruits of white society. The fruits of white society is being able to teach your own children in your own schools, have your own colleges, own your own supermarkets, feeding your own people. To feed your own people is a fruit of society, a fruit of white society. To teach your children their own history is a fruit of white society. That's a fruit of society. All of those things, to be able to clothe your own people is a fruit of white society. You understand? They created a law so that we would be bound to them for the rest of our lives. And look at us today. That's a law. You can look that law up. Remember, all you got to look up is Doctrine of Exclusion of 1638. It's called the Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion. And each one of those colonies took on that doctrine and created and added laws to it. You understand? You ready to get into this article? Let's get into this article.
Sometimes
listen, and the thing about it is, think about this, right? White nationalists. They knew the white nationalists was coming in, but did they have the what they call it, what they call it when they got rioters coming in? Remember when they had Black Lives Matter?
Come on, looters.
No. When the governor calls for
the National Guard.
National Guard. They didn't have the National Guard come in, and they marched. If I'm not mistaken, they marched on the national. They marched in D.C. Right? Let's read this article. It says, "Who are the masked men who march in D.C. with Confederate flags? Their message to America is that it is for whites only. An extremist researcher at George Washington University said,
I got it.
Members of the Patriot Front marched around D.C. on July 4 and rode the metro at times in close proximity to people of color riding the train alone. On July 4th celebration for America's 250th, masked men in uniform marched through D.C. streets chanting, "Reclaim America." Some carried Confederate flags. Members of the group carried flags with the Patriot Front logo. The Anti-Defamation League and Southern Poverty Law Center described Patriot Front as a white supremacist group. And think about it, right? Salaki, if I may, sir, we still talking about this Southern Poverty Law Center. The Southern Poverty Law Center is the same law center that gave the Ku Klux Klan money. That what they call it when you give them money?
Grants.
Well, they gave them. No, they just, when somebody give you money to do what you need to do, they just gave them money.
They employed them.
Yeah, but basically they employed them.
Right.
You understand? The Southern Poverty Law Center is the same law center that's supposed to point out and
they excuse was they was using them as like informants within their organization, but really they're just giving them. They were supporting. They were supporting them.
They support the Southern Poverty Law Center supports white supremacist groups.
And let me point out something real quick about this Southern Poverty Law Center. They sued a black law firm that was fighting on the behalf of black people that was discriminated against. That black law firm took them to court and won.
Right.
And won. So here we go again. They in trouble again here.
Right.
So what the hell are we even talking about, madam? Come on, man.
It says,
you gotta wake the hell up. Go ahead.
Luke Baumgartner, a researcher with George Washington University program on extremism, weighed in on what he saw and who the Patriot Front is. What do we know about the Patriot Front? Their motives and how they operate. So up front, Patriot Front is a white nationalist and white supremacist group that's been around for nearly a decade now. Come on, we know it's been around longer than that. They're just calling it something different. They sprung out of a splinter group from another group called Vanguard America that was present at the 2017 Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. That's where they unalived that oppressor lady.
And listen, let me make this clear. These cats in the khakis and the whatever shirt they got on, and they're covering their face. This is the modern day Klan.
Right.
The Klan, the other Klan still exists, but this is like a refurbished Klan here. You understand? Don't look at it as nothing else or nothing more.
Right.
These are white racist men that want to pursue, iniquity amongst anybody that is not them.
Right.
That's what we got to recognize and understand here. Go ahead.
It was taken over by one of their members through a hostile takeover. Listen, they fighting against each other. Since then, they have grown significantly in popularity and in size. And their message to America is that it is for whites only. That means nobody of color, no LGBTQ, anybody else that doesn't subscribe to that sort of ideology. And their slogan and their iconography really conveys as much. And look at that. You see the
icon. That's iconography. That's the early education.
Right.
I might struggle with a couple words.
Iconography.
Icon is a root word. Iconography.
Iconography. Yeah. But no, I had to take my time.
But they say you get to find a root word.
Right.
But look, check it out. Y'all see that picture right there? That's them on the subway.
And look at the brother
look at the
standing
brother
in the midst of them.
in the midst of these goddamn devils, of these cowards.
Yeah.
It's another photo out there floating around with a sister surrounded by them too.
Right.
But man, I'm gonna drop this. I'm gonna drop because I want to get into Godfrey soon.
Okay.
But they down there marching, upside down flags.
Right.
You know,
women, they got the flag upside down.
they got the American flag up.
So ain't that defamation?
No, that wouldn't be defamation. That's like a call. That's like a call of distress.
Oh,
It's like a distress call.
okay.
Upside
Turn the flag upside down.
Turn the flag upside down. It's like a
That was,
distress call.
Yeah.
It's like a distress call, or it could also be a call for ours. It's like something bad, you know what I'm saying, or what have you. But you know, that's your that's Trump boys though.
Yeah.
Just like Proud Boys, they got gays in there though.
Yeah.
They got gays in there. They got homosexuals and all types of different nationalities in the Proud Boys or what have you. But Proud Boys, these Patriot Front cats, the KKK, they all one. They just, you know, they got your subdivision, a white supremacism, though.
Right.
What you think about that?
Yeah.
But they all against you. That's what we gotta recognize and understand.
Yep.
But did you want to get a little? Cause I wanna get on Godfrey.
Okay.
And that African article.
Okay. Well, so you want to move to that?
Yeah, you want to start with Godfrey or you want to end with Godfrey?
What you think? It's up to you, sir.
Let's start with the African article. You texted that to me, right?
Come on, sir.
Because I found a TikTok with Godfrey agreeing with the other Hamite.
Okay.
But let me get this here. Let me pull this up.
It's the BBC.
South African anti-migrant.
What just
The
happened?
anti-migrant joint on
South African seek compensation
y'all
for
bad with
property
us.
abandoned by fleeing. Oh, come on.
I think I got it. Want me to send it to you?
Come on, sir.
You sent it in the group chat with me, you and Nalazar. I'm gonna send it directly to you.
Come on.
I'm gonna pull this up so everybody online can see real quick. I'll get a couple more articles, and this is gonna lead us into Godfrey. I could believe it, but you know, I say like the past 2 years I've been seeing like Godfrey skits.
Right.
Him, he was up there with Carl Anthony, the basketball player. Did I get that? I don't think I got that.
No, it keeps.
Can you get past it?
What's the name?
That's the one you sent me.
I know it won't let me. What's the name now? So
I'm
gonna punch it in a different way.
I got it here. I can read.
Come on, sir. Okay.
You want me to go into this real quick?
Come on, sir.
I'm gonna add this here. Add the screen. Y'all bear with us for a second. This is Nigeria to seek compensation. Hold up. I think you tried to pull a fast one. Hold up. Nigeria to seek compensation for property abandoned by citizens fleeing South Africa. Nigeria says it will seek compensation from South African for its citizens who have left the country following recent protests targeting undocumented migrants. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Trmps Amobetimi been Salaki, you know what I'm saying? There's a Hamite name.
Right.
Wednesday told BBC that the issue would be discussed between the two governments at the highest levels. Acting High Commissioner to South African Alexander Ajay said on local television on Tuesday that the government had begun documenting business properties left behind by Nigerians. Now listen, these Africans going head to head.
Right.
These Africans, even there's so many subcategories of Africans we don't even comprehend. So how can you be two continents, black man?
Right.
How can you be African American? You got it. You want to continue on?
I got a different one right here, but it's the same. It's the same one.
You want to read that,
Come,
or you want to send it to me?
you want me to send it to you?
You can read it, or it don't matter.
I'm gonna send it to you anyway.
Come on. It's on the same thing.
Kind of a concert.
Come on. We're gonna get a little bit more on this though, man.
There you go. And I'm gonna read the article. And this is from the Associated Press. Nigeria says 2 nationals were killed during anti-migrant violence in South Africa. Think about this now, right? Because this is heavy. Because we've been told, even since we was kids, that everybody in Africa gets together. All those nations come together, and they are one. You know, Africa's one nation. African is not a nation. First off, let's get it right. Africa is a continent of many countries. Those countries each country has about 4 or 5 different dialects and different nationalities of people within those. Those countries.
Not only that, dozens upon dozens of dialects and languages.
Yes.
And cultures.
Right.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It says there's a lot of different dialects within each one of those countries. Those countries have been at war with each other since the beginning. Those countries have never gotten along. But we've always been told that Africa, all those African nations, they love each other. We all African. They don't say that they're African. When they speak of, when you go to Africa, they don't say that they're African. They say the nation that they're from, and they tell you the clan that they come out of. You understand? They know which tribe they come from, and they know whose son they belong to, or whose son they are. You understand? The 12 tribes of Israel. And
all inclusive. Hold on. What do they say now? The black diaspora.
Yeah,
they don't believe in the black diaspora or what have. But I tell you this: we're gonna point out an example. But they will come together against you black man.
Right.
They will come together against you, but as far as their own nationality, Ethiopia, they're different or what have you. As far as their nationality is concerned.
Right.
But when it comes to the black American, all of them will come together against you. Might. Okay, later.
Right.
Let's get just this article, please.
It says Lagos, Nigeria. Nigeria said Sunday that 2 of its nationals were killed last month in South Africa following violent anti-migrant protests targeting African workers in the country. Think about that, right? Nigeria is an African country, but they're targeting other African nations of people that are in their country, in the country of Nigeria. You understand what I'm saying? Now, like I said before, we was always told that no matter what country they from, all Africans get along. They come together and all of that bull crap. But look at what we're reading right now. Africans have been saying this for a long time, but it's been a cover-up by these so blackity black people that's right here in America trying to make us believe that everything is peaches and cream. All of this goodness is going around in Africa, and we need to go back to Africa.
That's a lot, man.
It's so many horror stories about people going back to Africa, going back to Nigeria. Now think about
Kenya too.
Think about this, right? If you got somebody from the west coast of Africa, go up and up in there.
And what they have done.
What they have done to us. We've seen there are multiple videos of the horrors that have happened to black people leaving America, believing that they're gonna live a better life over there in Africa. You understand? Now, the only people that they welcome over there in Africa are rich people who they know they can get money from.
Extortion.
You understand?
They can extort.
That they can extort.
What's his name? That's it. Lil Jon. Lil Jon went over there and tried to build a bunch of schools. He got the African. I don't know what country he went to. All these celebrities go over there, build a school, give them their money, what have you.
Yep.
Meanwhile, your ghetto, your hood is struggling.
Right.
Come on, man.
He ain't built no school over here for his people.
Right. That's the first thing we're gonna do. We're gonna get a school.
Right.
The Israelite school of UPK. Let me get $1 billion. Forget about it.
Right.
We're gonna have a whole block, my thumb.
How about that?
Forget about it.
It says the Nigerians were killed June 28th, 2 days before an official deadline by protesters for foreigners to leave. The Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs said one was allegedly killed by police officers and the other by unidentified attackers, it said. South African police did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the Associated Press. Listen, we keep believing that these nations love each other, but that violence goes on all through Africa. You know, listen, they had a video on a few weeks ago that I saw that a South African came over into Nigeria and opened up a shop, legally opened up a shop. The government allowed him to open up a shop, and they beat him out of the shop, made him close the shop up, and he shut the shop down. He showed them, they asked for paperwork. After he showed the paper, made them shut and close the shop down. And guess what they did to the Asians?
What's up?
They went and asked the Asians, can we have a meeting with you? And they spoke cordially to the Asians. And guess what they said to the Asians? If you're going to have a shop here, you have to hire our people.
Right.
But to the Africans that was from another nation in Africa, they beat the hell out of them and made them move out. You understand? That's how much Africans love Africans. They love them so much so that they allow the Asians to be there, but they don't allow other Africans to be there. You understand? Got to start loving our people. We can't be like these people. You understand? And like we said before, you got to silently boycott them. You got to start taking your money away from them. They have never given us anything, so why do we continue to give them everything? They become thousandaires and 10,000aires and 100,000 pockets. They have reigned over us because of the money that comes from our pockets, not their own. Let me ask you, people, how many times have you seen Asians go get their nails done at the Asian shop? How many donuts and buying up all the Dunkin' Donuts? You don't even see them buying donuts at all.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So when are we going to wake up and start playing the silent boycott game, the same game that they play with us? When are we going to start playing that game with them?
Right.
When are we going to start taking our love from them and giving our love to our own people?
And you know what the problem is too, Madonna? That Christianity is like a gateway of coonism.
Yeah.
You understand? Any coon that you see, their foundation is Christianity.
Yep.
All them cats that you saw running back to the Asian man to get their nails done, they get their chicken, they get their Chinese food. They are a Christian.
Yep.
They're a Christian. They're a Christian 100%. Look at your Christian counterpart, man.
Right.
And point out the hypocrisy.
Look, the crazy thing is me and my rib was just talking about this morning. We just talked about it because the sister on the job kept complaining about the Asians, but instead of finding to do a nail, she ran right back to the Asians.
Right back to the Asians.
You understand? And that's the problem with us as a people. We put up with everything from every nation of people, but we have 10 seconds of patience with our own people.
Right. And also this, right, the Christian church, right? Listen, if I could, it's like it enabled our integrity.
Right.
And it enabled our integrity so much so that we'll boycott and we'll say Black Lives Matter for a weekend.
Yep.
We'll say Black Lives Matter for a weekend. Next weekend, we're like, oh well, I gotta get this done, and you gotta fight your flesh.
Yeah.
To go get that from going to get that Korean chicken. They're going to get that Chinese food. They're going in that nail shop, that beauty salon store. When the news broke, man, I seen so much on my feed. Black salon this, black nail tech this, black. I was like, man, it's brothers and sisters about it.
Yep.
A week later, I don't see it on my feed so much.
Right.
Why is that? It's because the Israelis got a hold on TikTok. Yep. Maybe, possibly. Who knows? But I know this much, so don't let your so-called faith make you lose your integrity for your own people, for your race, man. They killing us.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell are we talking about here, man?
You know what I want, Shalak, if I may, sir?
Go ahead.
You know what I want to let the sisters know? Think about, sisters, y'all have to think about how much money you can make just by doing nails out of your own house. Take a couple of courses and learn the technique. And then I can guarantee you that if you learn the technique, all of those sisters that go get their nails done would be coming to you. You understand? Because at this point in time, I can't imagine the sister not really wanting to get her nails done by another sister. I can't imagine. I mean, we have people out there that would support those Asians, but for the most part, most of us wouldn't. You understand? We have to start bringing them back down to heel. You understand what I'm saying? Because these people have gotten above us so much so that now they talking trash.
Right.
Because they know that no matter how much trash they talk, you're going to be mad for a second, but then you're going to come back and be buying from them all over again. And that's the problem with us, is that our integrity has been ground into the ground. We have no more integrity, so much that the Asian dude said that a few years back. He said black people have no integrity. You can do anything to black people. They're going to march for a second. You lower the prices, they're going to be right back in the store. They drop the signs and come back in the store.
Meaning what? They was extorting you for months.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah.
Extortion.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Also, this like hope a lot of the media department make a clip. We going to teach you to have integrity, man. You come up in this school, you follow the Israelite school of UPK, you're going to learn eventually to have some integrity and sternness about doing the right thing. We should never, ever go into a Korean chicken spot ever again.
Right.
Korean barbecue, nail shop, beauty salon. We should never do it ever again. You know why? Because we got each other, black man.
Right.
We got each other. And this is the thing we got to recognize about that ghetto informant program. Martin Luther King had a problem with that.
Right.
Jesse Jackson had a problem with that. Al Sharpton, he's still alive. Everybody know he was an informant. We didn't know what the program was, though.
Right.
He was an informant with them Italians, and in turn found out he was a ghetto informant against the black community. Against the black community. You can believe that?
And they can always guarantee they are guaranteed. They can always be guaranteed that they can go to some church and find some informant. They can use Christianity to find a black informant.
Right.
You understand? Somebody that they know will turn coat on us.
Right. So now I'm looking at Governor Westmore like a question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Any city councilman or anybody on the board, you a question mark, yeah. Straight up. You might mean well going in, well, I'm trying to change Baltimore. I got a different idea for Baltimore. I want Baltimore to be this, Baltimore to be that, what have you. Use a question mark. You know why? Because you ain't in the Israelite school of UPK.
Right.
You ain't in the Israelite school of UPK. So what? How am I supposed to feel? You work for the goddamn feds.
Right.
You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Like, if I may, sir, and the only people that can change Baltimore and any black city for that matter are the people of that city. When you continually listen to politicians, Christianity, and things like that, that's our destruction right there. You understand? And this is the reason why we have these schools all over the country. This is the reason why the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana keeps setting up schools in different cities so we can get this message out, so we can bring our people back, so we can really build real black communities. But the only way we can do it is if our people fall away from Christianity, fall away from the oppressor. You understand? So that the man of perdition is revealed. You understand? The man of perdition, the man of destruction. Who is the person that destroys nations on this earth? Who is the person that goes and robs nations of this earth? That's the man of perdition. That's our oppressor. That's the reason why the Bible says that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
You want to get back to this article, or you want to get to the let's read some more on this article. It says anti-immigrant protesters in April and May blame foreigners for high levels of unemployment, crime, and pressure on public services. The violence at the protests and attacks on African prompted Nigeria, Ghana, and Malawi to repatriate their citizens and summon South African diplomats. These two killings came at a time when foreigners are being unduly targeted in South Africa. This raises questions about deliberate attempts by some elements to wrongfully generalize and tag well-meaning, hardworking, and respectable Nigerians as criminals. Are Nigerians criminals?
Come on, man. How many links that they sent your phone?
How many
or phone calls or what have you?
How much bull crap have they tried to sell you? You understand? Nigerian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Kamebi Imomoti to me Ebifa Ebianafa.
Come on, man.
Ebianafa.
Come on with it.
Said South Africa has a history of violence sparked by anger over the presence of looting people were killed in what international rights groups called a xenophobic attack on foreigners. Listen, they don't get along, but they get along when it's time to go against us. You understand? You want to bring that article up?
What's up?
That was the end of that
Godfrey.
one I had. Article 2. Need to check that out.
Drop this here. Listen with your man. This your man right here, right? Y'all talking about all that Pan-African trash, right? Godfrey's in the news. The comedian. I'm gonna share this to give you some context of what's going on here. And it's not the only crash out, or no, this is not the particular crash out, but this is something that you gotta recognize here, though.
You got it unmuted there too, right?
That's like foundational black. But it proliferates. Yeah. What is this?
Now here, this is the first clip. He's waving off the so-called was being categorized or institutionalized as foundational Black American,
Right?
Which is, in other words, the so-called bear with me 1 second.
Slave, right?
Bear with me. Which is the so-called African American, the so-called Negro, the so-called Afro American,
right?
Blacks here in America, and you have Godfrey here waving it off, here, right?
Right.
Any thoughts on that, Mathon? I'm gonna get something else too on here.
Listen, you said he's African, right? So, I mean, he should be waving it off, right? Because he's not us. You understand? And I don't know how long I've been hearing that we've been saying that Africans don't care about us and we are not at the top of their priority list. Like we put them at the top of our priority list. You understand? Africans don't want to come together with us. You understand? We are the only ones that believe because they got the same skin type as us that we need to come together and we need to be one. Africans can barely get along with the Africans that are over there next door to them. Why would they get along with somebody who they sold into slavery? You understand? That's what we got to stop forgetting. We keep believing that we are the same people as them, but our thought processes is wholly different. Now, while you doing that, Cap, I just want to ask people, right? If we are the same people, where are all these great athletes that should be coming out of there? Because they not an oppressed people over there. You understand? Even out of oppression, greatness comes out of us. I'm not saying that there's not any good African athletes, but look at the multitude of us. You understand? Will somebody tell me the great African scientists? Somebody tell me the great African doctors? Somebody that's been written down in history. We got multitudes of them. You understand? We dropped them out like babies. You understand what I'm saying? Where are all of those people that, like, they not being oppressed over there in Africa. They allowing people to come over there and take from them. You understand? But we're being oppressed over here. And we still rise to the top. You understand? Where's that same thing? Because we are not the same people. And that's what people fail to realize. An African can come over here and he can act like us, but he'll never be us. And in the same turn, we'll never be them. You understand? Even their customs and culture, we're not used to that type of stuff because that is not a part of us. You understand? I yield, sir.
Come on, I got another clip here. I'll give you a little bit more context. Another, it was kind of hard to find, but another content creator had a clip in his video. I'm gonna try to get the portion when Godfrey speaks, if I could.
Right.
I'm gonna share this tab here with y'all.
Oh, it's done.
Yeah. Bear with me 1 second, chat.
And for bringing on the actor David Oyelowo. This dude, David Oyelowo, oh, he was wilding. This dude reinforced
see
every
the video
negative
in a
stereotype
second.
of or upper things like Black Americans were jealous of him. That's why they are upset he played MLK. They just jealous he's good at what he does. This dude was arrogant. He was pompous. This dude was condescending as hell.
he making most of his money. And I'm not talking about, I know he making money from stand-up too, right? I understand that. But what he's doing on social media is he's profiting off of those little skits that he's doing with leave black people alone. That's a big thing for him right now. He getting a lot of hits off of that. You understand what I'm saying? And for him to sit and agree with an African who said the stupidest thing that I have ever heard in my life, one of the stupidest things. I heard a lot of stupid stuff. You understand what I'm saying? But to say that a slowed down version of Nigerian, but you're speaking in English, and now you're starting to sound like an African American. You understand what I'm saying? Is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then you say what does subservient sound like? Because the voice that he sounded, the voice that he used didn't sound subservient.
Right.
Sound like a strong nigga to me.
Right.
He used the strong nigga voice to me. You understand what does slavery sound like? Does it sound like whips hitting your back?
Right.
You understand?
What do you mean by that?
That's and this is the reason why I'm saying what he said. The whole phrase of what he said was stupid, because you got to tell me what does slavery sound like. You understand? Because the voice that he used didn't sound like somebody enslaved.
And it came, and also this, it came from a place of straight hate.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You hate niggas.
Right. Yeah.
You hate so-called black folk, so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American. Why? How can you sound like a servant? How can you sound like a slave?
We gotta do it like this. How do you sound? How does your voice sound subservient? Now, anybody can sound subservient when you're humble to somebody, but the voice that you use did not sound subservient.
How you tie that to an
accent? Right. How do you tie the subservient to an accent? And now I know being subservient is an act.
Right.
Not a voice, but it's an act. It's something that you do. You're subservient when you serve somebody. You understand? That's an act, not a voice.
Yeah,
and then
how arrogant, yo.
How does slavery sound? He said a touch.
Can I play a little bit more of the clip?
A hit of slavery.
Let me play a little bit more. Let me play the clip again. This is gross, son.
But that shows, just like you said, that shows the hate.
All these are Hamites.
Right. Now you see how shocked he sounds. Oh, he did the whole transition.
Hold on. Hold on. He says, now we're free.
Yeah.
Yo, what an insult.
Yeah.
What if I could, let me play a little bit more. Let me finish it. Listen, let me end this. Shout out to this creator bringing this up too. Mind you this, right? He didn't say you're wrong.
Right.
Or maybe you should back up a little bit. Maybe you should analyze.
Right.
He says, no, you right about these niggas.
Right.
Is what he said.
Right.
And watching this skits, social media, following him. I think I follow him on TikTok, man. All these black takes, it's like, yo, damn. But being in it, it's not really yo, damn, but it's like being in the truth. I'm watching and waiting.
Right.
Watching and waiting. He had him and his. I don't follow that group that podcast he's in.
Right.
him and them two other Hamites.
Right.
He had another hiccup with talking about the Lion King and with the song man or whatever. That was one thing.
Right.
But I still never it was never my interest.
Right.
I'm not a Hamite. I don't give a damn about, these goddamn African, whatever. It was an African thing.
Right.
Africans in America, what have you want to print
Because I want to give you my analysis of
before
that whole situation.
Before we close it.
Before we close, right. Now,
you got the floor.
Listen to this analysis, right? Now, we've all heard of the old black actors, the stepping fetches.
Alazar check in. Go ahead.
What's going on, Alazar? We've all heard of the old black actors, the stepping fetches and everything like that, right? The subservient voice has always been that, how you doing, boss?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, boss. It's okay, boss. That high-pitched voice that African did. That's always, when he went down low, he did the low down Denzel strong voice. That's a deep, strong voice that he did.
Showing you what, Matham?
Then
there's a difference.
He said there's a difference. That strength when you hear that deep, low voice. That's how we are. That high pitch that you did when you did that voice, that high, that's a subservient.
He shot himself in the
slavery voice.
Nigerian subservient.
Nigerian subservient. Listen to his voice, the high pitch. The high pitch has always been a woman's voice. You understand? And then he had that big cheddar cheese, teeth showing smile that slaves always did when they were subservient to their masters.
If anything,
and we know that they are subservient to the oppressor.
If anything, he showed a Nigerian subservient when he spoke in his accent.
And I want everybody to listen to the voice that he did when he said the low voice, like a nigger, a black person. You understand? That was a strong voice that he did. And then when he went up high, that was that high-pitched woman voice. When you get that, what's they call it? That estrogen.
Yeah.
That estrogen makes you go high like that and speak like that. Yeah. That's high pitch.
I'm gonna tell you my thumb.
And then he smiled and
that's an excellent analysis.
Yeah.
He did his nationality's version of sucking up to the white man.
Sucking up to the white man. So
he did our version of being stern. He was
perfect when he hit the strong low voice, because that's a man. That's a rational speaking that he did. That high pitch, that's that not rational. Rational is when you're low, but when you're irrational, when you speaking like a woman, when you have a woman's thought process, your voice is pitch high. You understand what I'm saying? But that low, he did the low, strong voice when a stern black man speaks.
Right.
He did that voice.
Right.
So his analysis was right, but it was backwards.
Yep.
That high Nigerian voice,
subservient.
That's subservient. That low, strong black voice,
imitation of a Negro was a strong
forward man. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So heavy when you looking at that, and that's crazy, like I said, and then on top of it, what really makes it bad and people really don't catch on to was he said speaking a Nigerian dialect, and he wasn't even speaking in Nigerian. That makes no sense.
He's subservient.
Come on. He wants to be us.
Right.
You understand? And that's why he showed that strong black voice. I yield, sir.
Look, hey, we passed the time. We almost had it.
God damn.
It's all good, but I think it was worth it though. But
I'm glad you saved that to last.
Yeah, I think that was
because I ain't never heard that, but
I'm gonna see you some more clips. You might can touch up on it a little bit more because he does have another crash out,
right?
The black man checking them,
right?
But this here podcast, or I'm gonna do a little research. Maybe I'll tie into it in with these other two characters
Right.
on their podcast or whatever they want to call it. They and they film it and or what have you. Put it
The
up there.
the guy in the middle freaked out like he really did it. He really did it.
Right.
And he wasn't even speaking Nigerian.
Right,
Not
right.
only that, he gave us that solid. And I'm gonna tell you, he hit that voice on the money. That was a strong black voice he hit. But that high pitched Nigerian accent, that's them.
Right.
You understand? That's that irrational. That's that weakness. That's that subservience right there.
There you go.
But he did that strong black voice when he went low and deep. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. He hit it, but he had it backwards. But he did it. He did it right.
100%. You hear that?
Yeah.
Those
I
fun.
yield, sir. I'm done.
No. You can go a little bit more.
Yeah, but he hit it. You know what I mean? And I want people to really analyze that video and listen to what we were saying and listen to the dumb analogy that he made saying the Nigerian accent. And he went low and used our voice.
It was masculine. Our
It was
voice,
masculine.
his imitation of the Negro
Right.
was masculine.
And now you're free.
And now you're free. That was gay.
Yeah, that was good.
That was gay.
Yeah.
Look, listen. This is the Israelite School of UPK. You understand? So-called Negro, the so-called Hispanic, the so-called First Nation man and woman is not African. We have no ties to Africa
Right.
as far as nationality. The northern tribe, the southern tribe, no, the northern tribe, Salakia,
That's the
so-called Hispanics and natives, right?
right.
Seminole Indians. They came here to the Americas after the Assyrian Empire. A great number of them, not every single one, but a majority of them, right? And the so-called Negro, so-called Benjamin, Judah, and who else? Levi.
Mm-hmm.
Levi is your Haitians, Judah is your Black American, and Benjamin is your brothers and sisters in the Caribbean islands and later in the UK, right?
Right.
We ain't African. Them Caribbean niggas in the UK, that's Benjamite.
Right.
They know the difference between them Nigerians and themselves. Likewise in the Americas.
Right.
There's a difference between the so-called Hamite and Israelite.
Right.
The so-called African and Black American and Caribbean brothers and sisters.
Right.
And natives. And what have you. And so-called Latino brothers, right?
Right.
Get that right. Anything you want to touch on that, what I just said?
Live, sir.
But Godfrey, the comedian, is a Nigerian raised in New York. He's always going to side with his people, which is fine.
Right.
It's fine, and it's also expected. You can time it any time of them.
Right.
Anything come in your mind, you can time it. And it's expected, but I recognize and understand this. Don't be hurt or have your feelings hurt about what these Africans said.
Right.
We've been telling you this since 1969.
Yep.
They don't give a damn about us, and we shouldn't give a damn about them.
Right.
Let them do what they do. Let them whatever. We ain't going in no African shops. I went in the African shop one time. I was like, man, this stank in this joint. I'm bopping. I see a little corner, boom, boom, boom. It say African, boom, boom, boom on the top.
Right.
Let me get a soda out of it, man. I walked in there, man. Listen, it was the bit. I will tell you this much. I never went back again.
Never went back.
Listen. I'm gonna go to a regular corner store.
Right.
Okay, it's a lie. The corner stores now they take up after us.
Right.
That's how our corner stores was. They took up after our tradition the corner stores and the businesses that's around black folk right now, how they are right now is how black folk ran a joint. Yeah. But better. And you can get credit in a bag that you ain't gotta pay for.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? The whole, brotherhood and sisterhood in there.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. The credit. And listen, that's all biblical too, right? Giving your people credit. If a person couldn't afford something, you gave it to them, and then they would come back and pay you what they owed you, with no tax or nothing like that. You pay for what you got.
Right.
You understand? And every neighborhood provided that for the people that lived in their surrounding neighborhood. So if you live close by, you had your ID, you say this way you lived at, you got credit.
Right.
They gave you a couple of dollars credit. You had enough to go in there and get what you needed for that day. Boom. And whenever you got paid, all you did was pay back. You understand? Your credit got extended to a certain amount. See, like back in the day, back in the 80s, I know that your credit extended like $15. Right. But if you think about a loaf of bread was only 50 cents. You understand? When you went to the corner store and got a loaf of bread.
$15 is a bunch.
Yeah. So $15 is a bunch. You get a loaf of bread, get a 50 cent. I remember my grandmother used to send me, take 2 quarters and go get me a loaf of bread from the Browns that was right at the other end of the corner. Right. You know what I mean? Boom, go get a loaf of bread. You know what I mean? So at that time, that was a lot of dough. All you need is $15. You can get everything you need. You get the eggs, the bread, the milk, and everything right there. And then on top of that, black people made sure they got everything that was fresh. We never sold you stuff that was bad.
Spoiled.
You know what I'm saying? And we definitely get that from these Asians.
100%.
So
100%.
We got to start waking up. You know what I mean? And like I said, it starts from silently boycotting. We ain't got to go post pictures and we ain't got to get online and say, shop black or buy black and stuff like that. All we got to do is just stop buying from them. You understand? Then wake up and understand if we stop buying from them, there's an industry that's open now. That means we need to step in and do what we have to do to take over that industry.
100%.
You understand? How do you think the Asians do? They know that there's an industry that's open. They step in and they take over.
That's what they did to us.
Right.
Let's take it back. I mean, what are we even talking about here?
I mean, look, it's as easy as that.
But you know what we blinded by?
What's that?
Christianity.
Oh, yeah. Christianity has always had us blinded.
You the number one coon.
Yep.
Number one coon.
Yep.
Look at your number one coon. And I guarantee you, I bet top dollar, my thumb, they doing this. Boom, 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 boom.
Yep. Yeah.
They doing the whole 9.
Yeah.
They top 9 critical. But look, man, we gonna hold y'all too long, man.
Right.
I think we didn't ramble. We tried to conserve.
We pulled it out. Because
slavery went, but look, this is the Israelite School of UPK, star 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under commanded in how we've been teaching this truth since 1969 that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand?
That's right.
I'm your host, Captain Sapari, along with
Officer Matham,
and this is the 1 West News Desk. We be back here live at the UPK 6 p.m. every Monday. Lord allow, weather permit. You understand?
Right.
And with that, shalom, Israel.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're 1 West. They're 1 West. They're 1 West.